All right, welcome back to the fourth wrap-up video. I was just talking about how it was really crucial for us to take Morocco, particularly because Morocco has two double oils and I believe a double uh, gas down there that we really, really wanted to grab early on. When that failed, we had to sort of organize. So, but I'm going to throw it back to you because I know you guys had to be uh, swilling the beer over there in your beer halls when Morocco held. That must have been a great moment for your team.
Honestly, at that point, so our plan revolved around taking Russia for much the same reason, because Russia was the only location that bordered two of us.
Right.
We were all islands, essentially. And so our plan bordered on double teaming Russia, and that was failing. There was a tactical error there as well. Sweden sent in stacks of three instead of fewer stacks of five. And honestly, if Sweden had done fewer stacks of five, I think we would have taken St. Petersburg.
Mm.
And so whenever your attack on Morocco failed, it was at the exact same time that the St. Petersburg attack, we saw that it failed.
Yeah.
And so it was real bittersweet on both. It was, well, our plans had failed, but so did theirs. So I guess we're even.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to figure out where to go from here. But I was really scared at that point because, yes, we had more materials, and yes, we had more energy. But at that point, you guys had all of the food, and we struggled with food a lot. And I saw you guys building barracks everywhere to replenish your troops, and we couldn't do that. So I was terrified of an immediate follow-up attack that didn't come. But I knew that if you had anything in words and sent them towards us, because we had spent all of that and we couldn't replenish, we were in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So I will say too that Raya Force did a really great job, and so as I put together the playlist from your videos and my videos, I'm really looking forward to sitting down and watching them from both sides. And then Raya Force himself, Russia, did a few videos of his own, so they'll be sprinkled in there as well. But he did a great job, like I said, because of his just those long roads, those big territories. He was able to hold a lot of defense back out of view, and so he did a great job of And I was like, why aren't you stacking your borders? But he did the right thing. He sort of made it look like he was vulnerable, and then he was able to rush large numbers of troops to defend. And keep in mind, he was also having to defend from the Ottoman in the south. Um, that might have made a big difference too if the Ottoman had ever presented a serious threat to his southern border. But I got to take my hat off to Harkold. He did the right thing, and he eventually took two foods from me early on, and then
that was always intended to be a distraction for Russia to try to pull the Russian troops down. That was the whole plan, was to pull all the forces down because of that so much land, and then attack in the north. And we did end up getting one territory, but it wasn't near what we wanted to get.
Yeah.
I know that we're having technical difficulties, and I have a bunch of questions that I want to ask, like what happened to France's morale, and why didn't you build more navy, and why did you leave Germany alone for so long? But the one that I really want to make sure gets asked, because this was something that was concerning to me. Did you ever consider, because of that focus on the early push to Morocco, did you ever consider going through Tunisia? So the Portugal-controlled tip of Africa, to get a landing force for Spain and for Italy to push instead of having to disembark all across Africa.
Yeah, so we did consider that, and what we kind of eventually settled on was that you will see us mustering off that shore, and because all of Spain would have had to leave behind a skeleton crew, more or less, but then send huge flotillas of infantry. And if that happened, then our thinking was that Alpha would just attack and capture those